Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Wilderness Reborn. This is a very exciting update and the best update that RuneScape 3 has seen in a very long time. It is day of release, actually a morning of release as of this recording. So I've given myself a crash course into exploring the wilderness, a little bit of PvP, and completing at least one Slayer task in the wilderness to see what has changed, what the new rewards are like, and what the new danger is like. And there is definitely a revamped sense of danger here. You will see me in this video in my very first Slayer task in the wilderness get absolutely wasted by a monster ambush. And I will walk you through how to navigate that and how to survive that yourself. The new opt-in PvP is really exciting. And as you can see here, you can be doing your Slayer task in the wilderness, and right alongside you there can be other players actually PKing each other. Right alongside, totally independently, only if you wish to opt in to that yourself. So, with that said, let's cover PvP really quickly. PvP is now opt-in, meaning by default, when you go into the wilderness, you are not targetable by other players. If you want to opt in, you can find Vala on the edge of the wilderness between Edgeville and the Grand Exchange, and you can choose to opt into full PvP. You can still find the Wilderness Skull, and you can buy one from the Zamorakian Mage that you used to go to the Abyss. Using the Wilderness Skull in all the ways that you could before will skull you and opt you into PvP. So if you're using the Wilderness Skull while slaying, farming, doing agility, you will be targetable by other players and able to fight other players. That's about all there is to know about that. Moving on to one important aspect of this update is the graphical rework of the Wilderness. So as I run through the wilderness here and give it a big wide sweep, let's talk about the graphical updates and the very big changes to enemies that can be found in the wilderness. So you'll see throughout here that not only has the terrain in the background and the lighting gotten pretty big, a subtle but noticeable update. So like the JetX developers said, the intent was to make this a little bit more, look more modern. I think they achieved that subtly. You'll also notice that a lot of traditional enemies have gotten a rework. You can see like Hellhounds look much different now and much more detailed and nice. You'll also find enemies that you did not previously see in the wilderness, namely more Slayer monsters, especially the very dangerous ones. There are now gemstone dragons at various points in the wilderness, there are Ripper demons, and there are new, very powerful demons along the lines of those that you find in the Zamorakian Undercity City Elite Dungeon. So very high level demons with boss level health that you can kill all you like or flee from. Towards the deeper ends of the wilderness especially, you'll see the especially dangerous Slayer monsters like the aforementioned Ripper demons, Abyssal Lords and the other newer Abyssal creatures, as well as Wyverns and I'm sure at some point somewhere Acheron Mammoths. So how do you get started now with Wilderness Slayer tasks? Well, Mandrith has moved. He is now in very deep wilderness, level 54-ish, by the Pirate Hut, which is east of the Wilderness Agility course. You can navigate to him, get tasks as usual. The Slayer Cave teleport does work, and assumedly the Slayer Gem or whatever other teleports you can use to go to Slayer Masters. That also means there is now a new, very convenient level 54 Wilderness teleport. That'll take you straight to him, so make note of that. You can get your tasks from Mandrith as normal, and then find the creatures that you're looking for in the wilderness. In this case, I got a Black Demon task, nothing too crazy, so let's make our way over there. The first thing you might notice is the threat level indicator starts at 0. As you progress through your Slayer task, it increases. Now, I don't remember if this is clear from the update info or not, but I actually don't know if threat level increases as you kill monsters and progress in your Slayer task, or just over time. Just to give a notice here, my threat level got up to 10, at which point I got totally ambushed and wasted. I don't know if it goes higher than that because it seems like I was at threat level 10 for a while. I assume it does, but I'll get more into that in a little bit. The second thing I noticed here is that everything in the wilderness just about is fully aggressive. The aggression does not run out, as opposed to outside the wilderness, and everything is multi-combat always. So With Black Demons, as you can see here, and Animate Dead, it's pretty comfortable, so you can just place yourself right in the middle of them and kill as many as possible with AoE attacks. With other tasks, you may want to be more careful, especially if it's Super Demons or something like that. The third thing I noticed is, for the beginning of the task, the complete lack of ambushes and volcanoes going to damage you. So I was actually waiting for a while, and I ended up even dozing off or walking away from my computer and just AFKing or whatnot, and didn't really have an incident for a while. Finally, there was an ambush, the first ambush. As you can see, it consisted of a few Revenants, a Hydrix Dragon, which is the most dangerous one of this group, as you need to protect yourself from the Dragon Fire, or you can die very quickly. But overall, nothing too nuts. So aside from the Black Demons that are already in the area, the Hydrix Dragon was most dangerous, followed by the Revenants, which were not too tough. And really, I'm not going too hard on the PvM here. I am full Revolution, everything, including Sunshine and Omnipower, all that stuff. So that wasn't too bad. Between the first and second ambush, there was also 2 Volcano Strikes. Check my timestamp there and see if I'm right on that, but I believe the 2 Volcano Strikes came, before the second ambush. They were about the same, so the thing that affects Volcano Strikes is your threat level. They supposedly happen more frequently, the higher your threat level. And both times they hit me for the same amount of damage at different threat levels, which was just over 6,000 HP. The idea with these Volcano Strikes is that they will hit you for a certain type of damage, magic, range, or whatever. I got hit by magic twice, but as you can see, I'm soul splitting for this task, and the first time the volcano caught me by surprise. You just get a little pop-up warning, and then it hits you a few seconds later. So I was unprepared. For the second Volcano Strike, I actually tried to be prepared and pay attention to when the strike was coming, and I actually prayer flicked, as you can see, but it didn't seem to do anything. So I don't know if the window for prayer flicking is just very small, or if it's better just spray magic the whole time. I don't know, because supposedly the volcano can hit you with different combat styles. The best thing I can suggest for when you're about halfway through your Slayer task, maybe, and on the lookout for these, is to just keep your health very, very high and be ready to eat. One unfortunate thing about the Wilderness drop table, which you have access to if you do Slayer in the Wilderness, is that this preserved meat will be dropped often, which heals 2200 quite a bit. I do recommend picking up food, actually, from the Wilderness drop table or whatever, even like the potatoes that these demons drop, because you will find yourself getting hit very suddenly, very hard. Now, the second ambush is the most fun here. So the first ambush left me pretty underwhelmed and got my guard down. The second ambush was an absolute disaster. There was, as you can see, not only an Acheron Mammoth, but also one of those giant powerful demons, and also I couldn't even see what else, to be honest. It was overwhelming. I thought I was doing fine at first, and then all of a sudden my health went down and I ran out of food, and then I totally died. So the thing to be said here is that ambushes are not to be underestimated as your threat level increases. And maybe I got lucky in the first ambush and it wasn't too bad. Maybe I got very unlucky in the second ambush and it was especially bad. The idea is you need to be prepared, and the further you are in your Slayer task, the less you really can AFK less, unless you want to die, very likely. That was the intent of this whole ambush system and the whole volcano system, to kind of impersonate or replicate the idea of a PKer coming in or a group of PKers coming in and hitting you hard, so you have to deal with it. I would say this is a better attempt than the first time in RuneScape history when PKing was taken away from us and we just got Revenants. And the Revenants back then in old school RuneScape were moderately difficult and mostly just irritating impersonations of PKers. I'm not really sure what to say about this system. The Volcano is not too irritating. It's an interesting addition and just, something that keeps you on your toes so you can't totally AFK, which is fine. That's the idea. The mobs, the ambushes, I don't really know how to deal with completely yet. The only thing I can suggest to avoid what happened to me here is maybe run and try to take on the mob one at a time. Supposedly, and from the looks of it, they don't really have unique drops or anything. And I believe I read you can't progress with your Slayer task until they're all dead. I'm not sure about that, but anyways. My first suggestion would be to run so you're not getting hit by tons of enemies all at once. And my second suggestion, based on my experience here, is maybe if you're being careful with this, either maybe teleport out halfway through your Slayer task, which will reset your streak, your threat level. It'll also reduce your reward, but greatly reduce the chance of you dying as well. Because the other alternative is you die like I did here, right? My death cost was only 1 million for the gear I have. Some of you have much higher death costs than that for some reason that you can choose to run with in dangerous situations. So you may choose to risk all of that, or you may choose to risk a moderate death amount, and the loot you get from slaying will cover it anyways. But the thing is, if you do like I did here, and you die towards the end of your task, and then by the time you finish your task, your threat level is low, your rewards will be lower too. So that's why I say maybe halfway through your task, you can teleport out and come back in, and you'll still have a pretty high threat level by the time you're done, but you won't be in too much danger of dying. So that's my crash course experience with one Slayer task in the Wilderness. Much stronger Black Demons than there were on non-Wilderness land, and a fun occurrence with a group of, I guess, PKers, explorers, whatever. This group of players that came in here and kind of hijacked my task and then started killing each other. So, kind of a cool experience to see that. But there can be PKing right next to you, and you can totally opt out of it or opt in whenever you want, and you can just mind your business, and people around each other can PK. It is a very different PvP and PvM mixed system than we've ever seen before in RuneScape, and I think it is really fun and really cool. One last thing to say about Slayer tasks here is that you will, in addition to having access to the Wilderness drop table in the first place, you will, whenever you complete a task for Mandrith, it looks like you get a Slayer Wilderness reward chest, which can contain any number of things. I think it can contain even those tier 87 Wilderness weapons that were previously very hard to obtain. So one thing that is nice, I think, is those tier 87 weapons becoming much more available, hopefully, and the entire Wilderness drop table becoming more available, hopefully. We might see maybe more use of like the tier 88 augmented, like Morrigan, Stadius stuff that was really hard to replace beforehand. Maybe that stuff will be more commonplace now, so people will use it more. That would be pretty cool diversity in gear, I think. So that's about it. Don't want to drag on this video too long. I just wanted to give you some advice and tips on what you need to survive and slay in the Wilderness. Like I said, it's exciting. I can't say that enough. I love this option as the new Slayer option that is at the same time more safe and at the same time less safe than previous Wilderness Slayer. It definitely feels more structured and like there's more benefit and reward to it now. Did I forget to mention that you can also get Reaper points? A small amount, but you can get Reaper points, like one at a time for completing Wilderness Slayer tasks as well too. I think maybe with higher threat level, but anyways, the addition of extra rewards and just the different way to have danger in the Wilderness is a huge plus to the game experience in general, I think, so it's awesome. The only thing I want to touch on last with regards to Slayer is, I suppose, when you'd want to choose Mandrith for tasks over Laniakea. Since they both have the same requirements, level 85 Slayer and level 120 combat. But there are some differences. Obviously, Mandrith now has these new benefits of the Wilderness drop table and the Slayer reward chest and all that. The reasons I would still pick Laniakea over Mandrith would be if you want cluster tasks, like generic dragons, generic demons, etc. I don't know, and I don't think that Mandrith does that, and I also don't think that Mandrith assigns Anachronia-specific monsters, since there's no reason for those to be in the Wilderness, so dinosaurs or the Vile Blooms. If you're looking to kill those, because you need to complete your Anachronia base camp or whatever, they do have much better drop chances of their unique items when they're on task, so if you're looking for that, it's also another reason to stick to Laniakea. Otherwise, I see no reason not to experiment with Mandrith and use that as a new Slayer training method. Yeah, that's it. I hope this helps. Everybody enter this new dangerous Wilderness place. If you like this video, or if you want to see more about maybe some specific content in the Wilderness, or if you'd like to see a video maybe delving more into specific parts of this update, let me know. Definitely subscribe if you like this and you want to see more. That helps me a lot. So thank you for that. And yeah, go have fun, explore the Wilderness Reborn. Catch you next time.